Hello, my name's Kevin. I'm the typical cripple. I am with.
Sardine.
Hey, Sardine, how you doing, man?
I'm doing alright. How about yourself?
Well, it's a long week, long couple of weeks, but I'm doing all right.
Good.
Thanks for asking. And so, what are we? So, last week or 2 weeks ago, we left on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I think we were gonna try to record it just then, but then I think we weren't quite prepared for it.
I ran out of gas in a big way, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I went from
Yeah. Robot powering down. Must
yeah.
recharge.
Well, it's like my reset. I need to recharge, so
Yeah.
I did the best I could. All right, so last week and 2 weeks ago, we kind of intimated that I had a bit of a plan for
The end of the world as we know it.
Yes.
And do you feel fine?
No, I feel very full of angst and want to do something.
Yeah.
So I showed you something before you left.
Yep.
So why don't we bring it up real quick and I can explain.
Alright.
Sorry for not being down in the lower. Oh, is that thing centered on the thing?
It's just full screen.
No. Hover the mouse over.
That one's still not working.
I know. Hover the mouse, see the blue outline on the right?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
No.
No.
On the OBS. There we go.
Uh,
Sorry, my
expert level
my autism was kicking in.
OCD.
All right, so what this is 15 tiny homes with a. Oh, go back up. No, somewhere in the middle. Slideshow. All right, so this is kind of the idea behind helping the homeless. Now, I'm not homeless, but I would like to do something very similar to this. Probably not with the duck pond or a drainage thing.
Well, the ducks might just flock to the pond whether you want them or not.
Yeah, but I want to eat ducks, not
You
live
could
next.
You could shoot them, I suppose.
Well, not very easily. Not like this. But anyways. But no, this is kind of telling this story of how people go here to learn how to do life. And that's very nice and very useful. But I have an idea to do something like this, but for specifically wheelchair people with physical disabilities.
Right.
That's what I'd like to do. I want a way bigger TV too. That looks horrible. They totally. But I like the kitchen idea. That's pretty cool. All right, scroll down a little more.
Okay.
So this is So there are. Where you turned. Anyway, there are 15 or 30 small homes. I was thinking for wheelchair users, probably be like 10. 10 would be good. And one thing Sargon said that really got the noggin jogging is that, whatever kind of community or organization I want to be a part of, the question is, do I want to lead or do I want to be the follower? And I want to set up a place that I want to live in.
Right.
That I can say, hey guys, time for somebody else to take the reins. That's when I realize my job is complete. I don't want to be king of my own kingdom, so to speak.
So you want to work on setting it up, but
And then,
hand it off.
right, and be a part of a council of crypts.
Nice.
And so, but yeah, I mean, why don't you read these? And I think this list of activities here gives us an idea of what they're trying to go for. So I want to read that off real quick.
All right. Weekly yoga, so physical fitness.
Yes.
Life skills classes,
Mm.
so how to take care of your
Yeah.
life stuff.
Yes.
Communal dinners, so food. Weekly resident meetings,
Mm.
so community and purpose, direction.
Okay.
One-on-one case management.
Mm.
This includes support with employment, education, behavioral and physical health, etc.
Mm.
So I guess that makes it more convenient for
Right.
whoever's doing the management to see multiple people in the same location.
Well, right, but it's more of a people are physically able to do things. Maybe they don't have the development, the
Sure.
skills development, people modeling
Right.
good behaviors.
In the case of this place.
Right.
Okay, so haircuts,
Right.
walking group. Do you have something you'd like to offer the village?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think my disability would meld with that.
Yeah.
But if we were to like think about it, like for example, I at once asked somebody, what's the aesthetic of what you would like me to live in? He's like, oh gee, I'd like you to, be able to go on walks. And I'm like, oh, that'd be great if I had caregivers that would not bitch at me for making them walk 100 yards.
Right.
Actually happened in the mall.
Hmm.
I'm not even supposed to go to the mall.
Wow.
Right, so weekly yoga is probably out. But, maybe if there was some wheelchair yoga or whatever, the way I look at it is this: you got 10 people all together with a very similar disability. They can't poop on their own. I mean, so here's the thing. Is there a place we can go where the problems of life are very physical for us?
Right.
So we don't have a lot of, when you came over today, what'd I have you do? We went outside and did what?
We shot a kinetic launcher.
Right. And we'll put that footage up later, but essentially it's like that's something I would like to do with other people.
Yeah.
I'm not able to do it on your own. So when you came, what did I have you do?
I hung a string between two trees and then a little canvas cloth so we could catch what we launched.
Right. And normally when you do that with other people, somebody will tie something up and help you out, right?
Right.
But what did I do?
Oh,
I just
you directed.
I directed. I sat there.
Yeah.
Now, mainly amongst able-bodied people, that would be a rude thing to do.
Yeah, I mean,
If you got like 3 guys all doing stuff,
one guy's sitting there sipping a beer,
right?
seated.
Right. That's kind of the
Then we just call that guy Dad.
or lazy.
Yeah, depends.
So I want to have a place where, when you pick me up to go somewhere and do something, I'm kind of all together, ready to go. That's kind of what my caregivers do. But here, what's the main problem I have with caregivers?
Just unwillingness to do anything beyond what's the minimum requirement.
I think that's because I live alone. I'm easy to intimidate. We're here. Um, this is our home ground,
Right.
and we're not alone. We're together, and together we can collectivize ours, and we can get good people in.
Right.
And the way I look at this is, if we got 10 guys or 10 people, I don't want to get away from the gendered language, but if we have 10 people and we have 4 caregivers and you just start at one side and go the other way around, hi, I'm ready to get you up, or better yet, what I would like to do is have a little app
Yeah.
where you block your time to get up.
Would it be
And
more lucrative for the caregivers that way, or like what's
well,
the draw? You know.
the draw is that you're not going to get yelled at, screamed at. You'll always have a partner, because the way I look at, I'm going to draw from biblical language. Caregivers will go out 2 by 2,
Ah.
and so therefore I once had these 2 caregivers. When one was assigned, the other would just show up.
Yeah.
And that worked out well because they kind of teamed it.
Yeah.
But only one got paid.
Mm.
But they didn't care because they were best friends.
Well, when you have this many people together, you
Right.
could probably get multiple paid ones.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. If I were to have, let's say, 10 people together and we had a centralized location, and let's say from 7 to 9, they're just getting people up, that's our wake up time. Sometimes I sleep in the chair.
Hmm.
Do I need wake up time?
No, I guess not.
No. So on times that I sleep in the chair, or other people sleep in the chair, thus we'd have a situation where we could all manage our own time.
Right.
But you're not. It's not all around the caregiving. It's around what we want to do. It's about empowerment.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is this: select your you select your wake up time, and then instead of yoga and life skills, go back down. What was the one with that last?
Sorry.
Instead of yoga and life skills classes, um, how about we set up shooting trips
Mm.
where we actually go to a gun range, and then we rely on other people to bring firearms or whatever, and maybe we have a shop where people can help work on. Because I think in many ways people want to work and want to help. They just want to do it around in a group environment.
Yeah.
Where it's not just one person.
Right.
With one person, it's kind of like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm by myself, kind of like what you're doing now. But this is our group environment. I'm part of the group.
Right.
But I think, having people, would you hang out around 10 other guys or girls
Hmm.
and just come to dinner?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I want to have a more lively environment. I just don't have that social vibe.
Yeah.
And I think most, situations like these where it's just a house, you're really around people that you don't get along.
Whereas this is you have each have separate
Right.
living.
If you're having a bad day, just stay home.
Right.
And if you're having a bad day, probably pretty clear that the other 9 people living here would probably be like, hey dude, you need to go back in your hole.
Yeah.
Come out when you're feeling better. Or something like that. But the idea that, we all, I would say, I don't want to stab Section 8. And then pull together our caregiving resources And the caregivers, they don't really care who they're caring for.
Yeah.
They just don't want to be paid for caring for one person, but you're caring. Here, it's like the CD law controls the caregiving aspect.
Right.
And they pay the caregivers. I would have 4 people on staff from like 8, 7 in the morning till like 2.
Yeah.
And then another 4 from 2 to 10. And then have 2 people as an overnight staff. And for 10 people, I think that would go real well. And in the community building, I'd have something like a caregiver lounge.
Yeah.
Where you can hang out and where you can be called upon.
Right.
And then everyone goes out 2 by 2. So that way, because I once had a shower where the caregiver giving the shower was like not feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
She was stumbling around, and it was like the other caregiver stepped in and said, "Hey, you're not safe. You need to back off. I'll take over." If she wasn't there, that wouldn't have been a thing. I would have been like, well, I'm naked in the shower. How do I get through this without killing my caregiver?
Yeah.
And the situations happen where that's what I'm thinking. So, communal dinners, good, weekly residential meetings. That would be the Council of Crips. And then physical health, employment, education, behavioral counseling. Let's have group counseling. Let's see if there's ways that we can help each other out.
Yeah.
Haircuts. When we do them back to me, I don't think I had that problem.
No, not quite.
No. But it'd be nice
You gotta keep it clean though, right?
It would be nice if we could get someone to, let's say, like a beautician, to come in once a week. We could pay for that.
Yeah.
$200 and just say, hey, you just do us all.
Yeah.
And then walking group, probably not a good idea.
Rolling group, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's my idea, and I'd want it to be carried, as something we can do. But I'd also want to have an eye towards resilience.
Yeah, you said something about 6 pillars of something or other. Was that related to this?
Well, there are like 6 elements of like settlements or whatever. So you got water, food, housing or shelter, energy, security, and I forget that one. But essentially, so let's just take those 5.
Yeah.
Food, I want to have, you can eat your own food. You can even have a caregiver cook a meal for you. But we'd also offer meals in the community building. Electricity, we could harden our place where we live with generators.
Right.
So power goes out, you're not left with that power.
Yeah.
Given the fact that everything I do runs on electricity.
Yeah.
Where for me, I don't go around, I don't walk. So electricity is pretty important.
Yeah.
Where I think for most people, it's great if they have it, but they're not reliant on it. Not to the extent I am.
Right.
Water, maybe we could set up a reverse osmosis or something. A water tank. And have extra water on hand. Something along those lines. And then food, I'd like to have a really good pantry, really deep pantry.
So water, food,
Housing.
housing.
Housing,
We've
I'd
got
like it like that.
energy, and then security.
And then security, we could have. Well, we can throw in our own security procedures. Nobody gets let in without a badge.
Hmm.
Something like, because we're vulnerable.
Right.
If somebody freaks out on us at home by ourselves, we're kind of screwed.
Right.
But if we're together and somebody freaks out, it's like, hey, you gotta go. And with people always on staff, I mean, right now you're here. Nobody's here.
Right.
No caregivers. And could you imagine my evening caregiver, wrestling with somebody that was like trying to hurt me?
Yeah, not really.
Right. So these are the things I have in mind.
Yeah.
Because I don't like living in, Section 80 areas.
Yeah.
But I think that this could be a good thing.
Yeah.
And offer people like me a chance to. And here's the. I don't like being supported by the government, but right now that's the only game in town.
Mm.
I'd rather be supported by churches.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. By myself, it's hard to be supported by church. Because it's only me.
Right. But if you had this kind of set up as a nonprofit or something.
Right. Then I could go around solicit churches. Hey, we're trying to get off the government. Because I don't like the way the government helps.
Yeah.
And if we could get off government funding and tell the government to say, hey, we don't need you anymore, please bugger off.
Yeah.
That would be the best conditions I could die under.
Yeah.
I die free.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And that's my heart.
Yeah.
I think that's what I want to focus my efforts on. Is it worthwhile?
It sounds like it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll put my beautiful face back up on the thing. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And so in the next couple of months, I'm going to be working on getting starting a legal entity and trying to figure all this out.
Nice.
If you want to help out, please email me on theatypicalcripple at gmail.com. But otherwise, that's about all I got for us right now.
All right.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, and if you have any ideas as to what you would like to see people in people in wheelchairs do, let me know. Because I think people have good ideas, they just don't know where to go with it because they don't want to hurt us. Which is not a bad place to start. But on the other hand, if you don't risk hurting yourself, there's no fun in it.
Yeah.
You have anything to add?
No, I don't think so. I think that was good.
All right. My name's Kevin. I'm the typical cripple. I'm with.
Sardine.
See you on the next bounce.
Adios.